Hello and welcome to day 10 of the Betfred World Snooker Championships. By this evening, the second round will have concluded and we'll know the Elite 8 who will head through to the quarterfinals of this year's competition. It was later start than usual. We all got a nice lie-in this morning at 1 o'clock. Judd Trump and David Gilbert and then Stuart Bingham and Jamie Jones continued their second round games. It was the two former world champions who headed through and booked their spots in the last day. We're going to start with Stuart Bingham, seeing off Jamie Jones 13-6 in the end. He won 6 of the last 7 frames, including 2 of the last 3 with century breaks. And he's looking forward to a game against Anthony McGill in the next round. And he may be inspired by some new walk-on music.
I'm not sure about my record with Anthony. I'm sure I remember all the losses. So I'm not sure if I've actually beat him, but yeah, he's obviously a class act. He's happy in himself the way he's playing, and sort of great last 2 frames obviously to get over the line against Ronnie. So expecting a tough game.
On a slightly lighter-hearted note, what's going on with the Stormzy walk-on music?
Yeah, my kids, Marnie, she literally gets home from school, Alexa, put Stormzy on, or just put Shut Up on. And I was just listening to the words. I wanted a new walkout music, and I listened to the words, and it was quite sort of a bit tongue-in-cheek. And at one part, he goes, "You better than me? Shut up." So it was good to change it.
So when I introduce you for the quarterfinals, you'll probably be coming out with a wry smile on your face.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I always will be, but it's just nice to still be here and walking out to obviously a good crowd now.
Yeah, Stuart Bingham then does face, as I say, Anthony McGill, Ronnie O'Sullivan's conqueror, in a place in the final 8, just 1 game away from the semi-finals. And joining him is another world champion, the 29 winner, Judd Trump. The favourite for this year's tournament, hardened into 15-8 after seeing off David Gilbert 13-8 with 4 century breaks along the way. And he will play either Sean Murphy or Yan Bingtao in the quarter-final. Let's hear then from the tournament favourite, the ace in the pack, Judd Trump.
They're both great players. I think Sean, for me, was due a run. I think he's not had a great season, and I think he loves being here at the World Championship. He loves being the centre of attention. He loves the limelight, and I think that brings the best out of him. And with his game, he still plays like a kid kind of thing. He still, when the balls go in, he's intimidating, and there's only a handful of players that do that. Jack Lazowski being one of them. It's not comfortable playing someone that takes on everything, because when it's going in, you can't leave them safe anywhere. So I think he's a very tricky opponent to play if he does get through. Yang Bingtao has already had a great year. He's won the Masters. He's one of the younger generation that's coming through at such a young age, and he's an amazing player. But just fancy Sean to get through that one, and it will be a very tough game for me.
So we wait to see tonight. This session's getting underway at 7 o'clock to see who will join those 6 players in the quarter-final. We have Mark Williams, Judd Trump, Stuart Bingham, Anthony McGill, Neil Robertson and Cairo Wilson. Mark Selber's a 3-time winner. He will resume 9-6 up against Mark Allen. And Sean Murphy, a 2005 victor, is 10-6 ahead of the Betfred Masters champion Yan Bingtao. Top snooker journalist Hector Nunns joined us to see how he thinks this evening may just pan out.
I think Sean Murphy's probably been one of the revelations of this tournament. He's coming here on the back of, not a great season, and not particularly good last season either, but he's played really, really well here. Some of his best stuff, and certainly one of the more impressive performers in the whole tournament. I think probably you'd say maybe him, possibly Neil Robertson and Mark Selby to date, and maybe the likes of Judd Trump, Cairo Wilson just haven't sort of shown their full hand yet. Sean Murphy's played really, really well. Yan Bingtao has looked pretty bemused in that game at times, and you'd expect him to progress. And then, of course, Mark Selby. Listen, I mean, they got pulled off a frame early yesterday. That was a little bit drawn out yesterday afternoon, but so 9-6, they've got possibly an extra frame to play. But again, you would make Mark Selby a pretty heavy favourite to come through in that one.
So that's Hector looking forward to tonight's action then. We're going to let him go without looking ahead to tomorrow's start of the quarterfinals. So we started by looking at Anthony McGill taking on Stuart Bingham, a semi-finals last year versus the 2015 world champion, a match that Hector thinks is a real 50-50.
Been very impressed with Anthony McGill. He showed incredible composure against Ronnie O'Sullivan. He was hit with an absolute barrage, 6 frames in a row. Was 11-10, 12-11 down, but to come up with those big breaks in the last 2 frames to finish it, I know he's impressed. He's not only pleased himself, he's impressed everybody here. There have been players trooping through the press room in the last day or two saying, wow, look what he did under the most intense pressure. Ronnie O'Sullivan at the Crucible with a sort of baying crowd, albeit a slightly limited one. So he he looks the part, and he's very composed. He keeps himself in his little bubble. He doesn't sort of talk the odds, shout the odds about his own sort of prospects or anything like that. He's quite a modest bloke. And Stuart Bingham has played really well. He's back to his sort of very heavy scoring that we know so well. That's what he's famed for. He's had a sort of couple of near 147 attempts. So he's playing very well. So I think that it's a fantastic opportunity for one of those two to reach the semi-finals. Very, very hard one to call. And it's almost a 50-50 match.
The other quarter-final getting underway tomorrow morning sees Neil Robertson taking on Cairo Wilson. Again, another former winner taking on last year's runner-up. Lots of people looking forward to a Judd Trump Neil Robertson semi-final. It's what they expect. But Cairo Wilson saves his best for the Crucible. This is his 6th successive quarter-final, and you underestimate him at your peril.
I think Cairo Wilson is too easily underestimated. Well, not underestimated is maybe the wrong word. I mean, he's into the quarterfinals for a 6th consecutive year. His Crucible record is actually much better than Neil Robertson's in recent years. And that, Neil Robertson's a serial winner every year, sort of regular top 3 or 4 player. I think he's fancied as a real contender this year. But, his recent Crucible record is not great. And I know it's a source of real frustration for him. He's come here as one of the favourites. He was my tip to win it. I haven't seen anything to change my mind on that as yet. But that is going to be an absolute battle royal. And Cairo Wilson overperforms, I think, at the Crucible. He makes the absolute most of every ounce of talent that he's got. He's got an incredible match temperament. And that's a match that you can really just sit back and enjoy. And you wouldn't be at all surprised if it went the whole way, I don't think.
Thanks, Hector, for joining us then for those previews. We're starting to get down to the nitty-gritty in this year's Betfred World Snooker Championship. Just one game away, 8 players from when it all changes. And we have just one single table in the middle of this famous Crucible theatre. And of course, the crowd participation levels will increase once more, starting to return to a resemblance of normality. But there's some extraordinary snooker ahead over the next few days as we build up to the final, getting underway on Sunday. Enjoy the action.
Betfred, proud sponsor of the World Snooker Championship.